everyone, welcome back to the channel. Wheelman81 here, and today I have for you my first track day in my new to me 2020 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat Redeye Widebody. Man, that supercharger sounds great. So I want to give you a little background on this car. I bought this at the very beginning of the year. I think it was actually on December 31st or something. I bought it from Texas. It was highly modified. The listing had that it was tuned to 900 horsepower, that it had headers, it had upper and lower pulley, it had ported supercharger and snout. I mean, everything that you can do to this car to get more power out of it, it had been done. And I thought that I was saving a lot of money on install and parts costs by buying this car already modified, and I was very excited to get something that had even more power than my last Redeye. Just casually chasing down a Porsche, no big deal. So this car had a lot of modifications done to it, and I did the test drive, I did a PPI, and I didn't notice until on the ride home that something wasn't quite right with the car, especially at low speeds. It was having trouble, like an even throttle in parking lots when you'd get gas and stuff, and I wanted to get it checked out by a tuner in my area. I wanted to make sure that the car was running right, because I really felt like something wasn't quite right with the car. So I took it to the big name Mopar tuner in my area, Carburetor Connection. Everyone says that if you've got a Mopar and you want to make more power, they're the guys to go to. They know the best about these cars. I scheduled some time on the dyno. We went over there and ran it. You can see that in my previous video about the car. And if you look at the dyno sheet over there, you can see at the top we were running into engine knock. That's because the tuner says I was running way too much boost for pump gas. He said maybe if I was running E85 or 100 octane, that would be a good tune, but as it was on pump gas, that wasn't a good tune to run. If the car's not set up for E85, we couldn't find a fuel sensor or the switch thing, so it seems like the previous owner was running 100 octane. I mean, he had this really set up for some drag racing shenanigans. So basically we put a plan together to detune the car a little bit. He said for a pump gas tune, I'd probably need to actually increase the pulley size, because the pulleys were so small and they were overdriving the supercharger and such. So we ordered a Metco 3.55 pulley, I believe it was, and we had that all set up. It was supposed to go over there the week after this track day to get it all installed and get the car retuned for pump gas. Now, here's where things get a little crazy. I said, hey tuner guy, you know, I've got a track day coming up the week before that we do this project. What do you think about that? He said, I really don't recommend that you go, but if you are going to go, you definitely need to be running an octane booster or 100 octane, and you really need to take it easy on the car. So you're hearing the loud exhaust, you're hearing the supercharger whine, you're hearing a lot of wind noise, and that's unfortunate. But it looks like in this video probably that I just took his advice and threw it out the window, and I said, I don't care what you say, I'm going to go out here and beat on my car. And that's not quite true, because I went and bought a couple of bottles of octane booster, and I figured I'd get enough to get me through the track day. And for what is, I think it was an 800 wheel horsepower tune, I'm taking it pretty easy. I've only hit speeds of like 120, 130 on the straightaways, and I'm running about 20 seconds a lap slower than I ran in my bone stock Hellcat Redeye. So I am taking it pretty reasonable out here. You can see my eyes as I'm going around the track. I'm watching the engine. I'm trying to pay attention to everything and take it easy. But unfortunately, I wasn't taking it easy enough. So we've skipped ahead one lap here, and this is the lap where my supercharger completely grenades itself. It's just being driven way too hard by the smaller pulleys. And you're going to see as I get through these tight turns here and start to go up the hill, the dashboard is going to light up with service electronic control system or something like that, and you're going to start to hear the supercharger pieces rattling around in the engine. Right there, I throw on the hazard lights and I don't have any throttle input anymore. I'm basically coasting. The pit entrance is just around this corner on the right, so at this point I'm trying to coast it over just enough to get into the pits. Now, as we're waiting for the car to come to a stop here, I just want to let you know that the reason this video took so long is because I was waiting for the car to be repaired. It was an expensive bill, guys. A new supercharger from Dodge was almost $11,000. Luckily, they have them in stock. I found one, I got it shipped out, it's been put on. The car is basically back to a stock tune, stock pieces. It's running great now. But man, this was a rough track day. I had the car towed to the shop after this. I had to take an Uber home, and oh man, it was a rough day. Definitely a sigh of frustration there. I'm pretty upset at myself for going out to the track, even though the tuner told me he didn't recommend it. I thought I could take it easy. I thought the octane booster would work, but it's a very expensive lesson to learn, to be patient, I guess. So what I'm going to do here is open up the hood, give it a start, and you're going to be able to really hear that supercharger just damaged beyond any repair. So anyhow, guys, it's going to be a little bit before I'm back on the track with the car. I've got to eat this repair cost, and it's going to take some time to recoup those funds. But thanks for watching. I have some motorcycle race footage coming up, so I'll see you in that one.